WSTAM 790 at Tucson and on the free iHeartRadio app. So we saw what the Democrats want to do. They want to fight dirty because they have no good policies. And they tried to vote in the ability to redistrict so they could get, they go from 6 members of Congress as Democrats and 5 Republicans, which is they have in Virginia. They switched it around to where it would be 10 Democrats and only 1 Republican in Congress. So they would take over the House most likely. Democrats play to win. Well, I want to talk to a man, George Khalaf. He is the president and CEO of Data Orbital, great polling company, and also he's running for state house here in Arizona in the Scottsdale area in LD3 to replace Collin and Chaplik. George, thank you, man. Do you think, in your mind, as you want to get into the state legislature, do you think that if Democrats had the chance, they would try to redistrict just like they tried in Virginia?
100%. I mean, Garrett, we have seen this in every state. If they had the opportunity, even though I think it's much more legally complicated in Arizona, they would try it here because, to your point, Democrats fight to win. They're not putting lipstick on a pig anymore. They're willing to put lipstick on a turd and then sell it. And they just they'll put it out there. They'll let it hang out there like a lead balloon, and they don't care if they're 10 years ahead of where popular culture is. They don't care if they're literally lying compared to what they said. I mean, the Spanberger and Obama ads from, months before talking about how gerrymandering was horrible, and then now they're willing to do that in the name of, quote, saving democracy. We've seen them be willing to do it. So why wouldn't they try to do it here if they had the opportunity?
Have you heard any whispers in the Arizona state legislature or from Hobbs if they would think about this? This looks like it'd be the Democrat blueprint across the country.
It is the Democrat blueprint. Because of our independent redistricting commission, I don't know constitutionally that they have any room to maneuver, right? If they did, I think they would take it. I haven't heard a whisper. But I don't think it's happening. I guess the bottom line is I don't think it's happening before 2026. I think they would be worried in Arizona, candidly, Garrett, if they overextend, especially with how close the results are in Virginia. And Virginia, it's a swing state. It's actually to the left of us. We're a Republican state. I think they would be worried about vitriolic whiplash against them if they tried to go for it here. So I don't think they would try, even though if they had the chance, I think they would do it.
Gotcha. George is George Khalaf. He is running to be the state representative, one of the two, in LD3. He's on the afternoon addiction right now. So, you look at this, right? And we see it across the country. I want to get your take on this. And a big complaint that I have, and I know a lot of listeners, a lot of voters have, is that Republicans don't fight enough. Democrats are willing to kill you like this, metaphorically, and maybe even realistically. But I don't see enough in this legislature that we currently have. I don't see enough fighters. What is your take on that?
That's why I'm running. Garrett. I haven't popped off on this because there's already plenty of things to talk about in Arizona, but I was beyond angry at the Republicans in Indiana who chose to pass on it in the name of, what was right, and we wanted to turn the other cheek and all of that. But the problem is, Garrett, that the left isn't doing that, right? We just talked about what they did in Virginia. They did it in California. And I understand that, we did it in Texas, and now we're going to figure out if we have to do it in Florida. But that's not the point. Our voters want fighters. Our voters want people to not just say it how it is, not just believe in these values, but actually be able to advocate for them in the face of opposition. That does not mean we have to scream and shout and burn everything to the ground. We can fight to win and do it in a way that clearly gets the day. Look, Donald Trump won Arizona by 5.5 points, and Donald Trump is a very specific style. He fights to win. So why not take the best of that, do it in our own way, and put forward policy in Arizona that allows Republicans to win? And then when we win, most importantly, when we win, we actually have to follow through. We actually have to get the job done. And that's what voters are especially anxious about, is that when we take over, we're never nearly as aggressive. Often, we're never nearly as aggressive. And again, the Trump administration has changed that. And I'm hoping we will take that example and lead that way in Arizona.
Let me ask you this, okay? Yesterday, I talked about this a lot, how Katie Hobbs got caught promoting and supporting an illegal policy that the Arizona Department of Water Resources used, and she supported it, that made it impossible for home builders in Arizona to actually build a home. They wouldn't be allowed because they changed how they were able to prove if there was enough water. It was illegal. A judge just struck it down, but that happened in 2023. And instead of outing Katie Hobbs publicly and just going after her, because people want affordable housing, they want to, home prices keep going up because we don't have enough homes. So instead of going after her, Rhino Senator TJ Shope tried to make a deal. All right, well, home builders can buy the water rights that farmers have and everything else. And instead of going after her, and like even that ruling came out, I talked about it yesterday. I still haven't seen any Republican in the legislature go after Katie Hobbs for making homes more expensive.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, this is why, I hope Andy Biggs, and I'm confident Andy Biggs will be our next governor, because he's been sounding off against Katie Hobbs for a long time about this ridiculous ruling. Look, 3 years of exasperating our housing supply. And Garrett, for those that don't know, this didn't apply to commercial. This didn't apply to multifamily, so apartments. This only applied to single family homes. And it was done close to 3 years ago. And this is the other thing the Democrats do. Her team likely knows that this was never going to stand and hold up. But through the appeal process and through the court process, she got at least 3 years of this crazy, ridiculous policy, completely has exasperated our housing supply. And then, to your point, we're having to sit there and do contortions about how to bring home prices down. Well, you know what for sure will not bring home prices down? By having less supply. That's like supply and demand 101. And yeah, we let her get away with it. She did it unilaterally. And again, thank God that we've got someone like Andy Biggs, who has been willing to push back. And obviously I'm confident as governor that he will lead the charge in this. But this is like 101, economics 101. You have to increase supply to be able to bring prices down. And she's had 3 years of exasperating in key growth areas in our valley, exasperating supply because of this unilateral decision that she made.
And it was going to affect every corner of the state too, which is just insane. Last one for me. How are we looking? You're a numbers guy. You're the president and CEO of Data Orbital. Registration numbers. How's it looking? Republicans had a big lead. What is the latest?
So we don't, unfortunately, have statewide updates yet. We are somehow well into April. This is supposed to have come out like 2 weeks ago. We don't have them yet. We're seeing slight numbers in Maricopa County that I don't love to see, Garrett, meaning Republicans, Democrats have gained a little bit, but nothing in comparison to the tens of thousands that we've gained on them. And I'm also confident from what I'm seeing from other rural counties that rural Arizona is still coming in strong. So I still feel good going into November. I'm confident we're going to have a strong voter registration advantage. But, I did a video in the lead up to being on with you today, and my message from Virginia is clear for Arizonans. As Republicans, we have to vote, we have to engage, we have to volunteer, we have to donate, we have to support our good conservative candidates. We cannot take this lying down. I don't care if it's a midterm. I don't care if you're not excited. We have to get ourselves excited. There's too much at stake and on the line in Arizona. We have to get good conservative leadership, and I'm confident that we can. But our registered voters have to become actual voters. And if we do that, we win in November. There's no question. This is why the Democrats are terrified. If we turn out our people, they know we'll win.
Gotcha. Really quick, I have 10 seconds. Who's responsible for putting out the registration numbers of the voters?
The county recorders have to report to the Secretary of State. So we have at least one county recorder who is negligent in their job, because that's why the Secretary of State hasn't put out the numbers.
Do you know which recorder? Do we know which recorder or no?
We don't know. No, we don't know. We don't know.
Ridiculous. Well, George Khalaf, President and CEO of Data Orbital, running for LD3 State House in Arizona in the Scottsdale area. Thank you, man, for giving your take. I appreciate it.